Hello and welcome to my TED Talk on why there's so many tests this week. In fact, why is there so many projects, essays, and tests this week? Well, I'll tell you why. See, classes have a certain schedule that they run on. Not just like when what time they happen, but which class, what is being talked about, what is being done in each class meeting. And that means they typically, around the fourth week, into a module, into a few chapters, it's always around 4 weeks after a test, or once you start that class, there's always a test. Typically after 4 tests, especially if it's a class that says we're going to have 4 tests and one of them 4 exams, and one of them is going to be the final. So that means typically you got 16 weeks. So that means every 4 weeks, you're going to have tests. And if all your classes have 4 exams, well, that means every 4 weeks, you're going to have a test, roughly in every class. Roughly an essay if it's not a test-based class, like an English course or a writing course. And it just makes it so much fun. And teachers always wonder, professors always wonder, why around this time students are always slightly more stressed. It's because every teacher has around the same idea, because 4-week increments isn't easy to schedule out how much information is going to be on each test. It's easier to test students because typically you got 15 minutes to test students if you meet 3 times a week, or an hour and 15 if you meet twice a week, depending on how your school does the scheduling system, depending if it's online or not, depending if it's self-study or if it's in person. And it just happens to line up with this, and it's not the teacher's fault. They're doing their best. The professors are doing as much as they could to try to make it not a heavy load, but then at the same time, some things it's just out of your control. It will just happen where around the 4-week mark, every test is coming in. But because you know in every 4 weeks you got an exam, and you know most likely all the exams are going to happen around the same time, schedule time ahead during week 1 through 3, before week 4, before exam week. Take that time to study. Don't just study the weekend before week 4. That's not efficient. That's not going to benefit you in any way. Say you have a class 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, okay? You go to class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or at least you should, so you can get the information, because sometimes professors don't post the PowerPoint on Canvas or whatever platform you're using, and then you're just like, now you need to get notes from another student if you miss it, or you have to read the book. And sometimes it's fine to read the book, but going to class, the professor explains it in a way that the book may not. And the professor may give examples that the book may not. And sometimes the examples are on the test, or the examples make it easier to retain the information. So when it comes to the exam, it's easier to pull it out of your mind and get like a higher chance to get the correct answer. So, you go to class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't just stop learning Tuesday, Thursday, or else going back Wednesday, Friday is like nothing. Tuesday, Thursday, look back on the previous lecture notes, whatever you did the previous class. Test yourself on it. If you have a book, take the heading of the chapter, of the section, of the pages that lecture took part in, and sometimes it may jump around. That's fine. Ask the teacher for page references if the professor could give you some. And turn the headings, even subheadings, into questions if they're not already. use the questions, test yourself on the questions that are already in the book. Because sometimes for my general psychology book, it has already questions in it. Same for my biology one. Test yourself on that. And most likely the book has the answers just upside down, or it's in the back of the book. Test yourself on the information. If your professor gives you quizzes, try to see if you could look back. If it's on Canvas, you may or may not be able to look at the results. See if you could retest yourself, cover up the correct answer. See if you could answer it without looking at the multiple choice, if it was a multiple choice quiz. See if you could answer it. See if you could come up with the correct answer without looking at any of the choices, because that means you really know it and not just recall it, which is when you look at it and you recognize it's the right answer. See if you could come up with it by yourself. It may not be worded the same way, but see if you could come up with the correct idea. That was Olivia Ritt's Monday TED Talk about testing, why in college most of the tests, most of the essays, most of projects end up being due around the same time period, how to organize that, and how to reduce your stress in college and have more fun and enjoy your life and be proud because you made it to college. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all. Oh, and if you did enjoy this information, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, make a video, and post some shorts. Now we'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.